Hey guys, welcome to One Arm Wolf channel. Oh my god, what am I doing here? Alright, guys, I know I've been doing a lot of playthrough on my YouTube channel, and most of it is just playthrough, you know what I mean? Like, I play along and commentating at the same time, so it's not really a walkthrough, it's not really a guide. So, some of my followers, some of my subscribers just kind of like request a proper guide for the whole games. So I'm thinking to do one more playthrough, not a playthrough, well, but this time I'm gonna try my best to make it as a good guide as possible, and every part and every section of the games will have its own proper guides. I'm not sure how long this will take, but I'm gonna make sure that I explain everything correctly, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't miss any items that we can actually loot in the games, and I'm gonna make sure that I can explain better of the quests by each side quest that we can get from the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. So with that said, let's start a new game. This is a new game, so which means it's not new game plus, just totally a new game, and I hope this video will help lots of new player to actually master Sekiro or beat Sekiro. Now I'll try again. Of course, I will try my best to actually incorporate like chip tricks. I don't know if you like to call it chip tricks, but chip tricks to actually win a battle or a fight. I will incorporate that. At the same time, I will explain how to properly beat a certain boss or beat a certain area. I'll try my best to explain all of that correctly in the right way possible. And I will try my best also to make this a playthrough. I mean, to make this guide the proper guide as possible for anyone that's watching. If you're new with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, no worries. I was a casual gamer. I just played the game for fun, and out of nowhere, I started to master it. Out of nowhere, I started to practice most of the combat system. As a matter of fact, right now, even as for right now, I'm still practicing with it. But hell, this game is a good game when you actually give it enough chance. No doubt that learning curve is actually very tight. The learning curve is very steep. It's not an easy game, you know. You still need sometimes to spend times to memorize the moveset, to memorize the combat system, to kind of like let the muscle memory sip in, you know what I mean? So this is that type of games. It seems like any other games. It seems like any other social-like game, as a matter of fact. So you need muscle memory to work as well. But once you actually get that, it'll never go away. Once you actually get that muscle memory into your brain, I mean muscle memory into your muscles, and that memories into your brain, it'll never go away. 100%. So believe me and trust me when I say that if you're a casual gamer and not a hardcore Souls-like player, that you can still beat this game. I'm not kidding. I'm actually stating the right thing. This is true. If you never play any Souls-like game, it is true that this game you still can beat. You can still beat this game because Sekiro is unlike any other Souls-like game. Sekiro is its own thing. But it's an under Souls-like game. It's just that it's a different kind of Souls-like game. So if it's your first Souls-like game, you still can beat it. No worries, don't be scared. And I hope that this video will actually guide you through each area. And as long as you follow my steps, as long as you follow my guide, you will do just fine in this game. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do consider to subscribe, because I'm doing a ton of hard work to make this channel a thing. Now I understand lots of Sekiro content creator out there, like most of them is pretty much like better than me in terms of gameplay. But I hope that I can just give out a good, fair enough content for a lot of you guys to like and subscribe me as well. Love you guys so much. We are going to go through this thing together, and let's just learn the game 100%.
狼の忍びはすべてを失っていた。育ての義父も守るべき主も。
Before we start playing this game, I would like to remind everyone who happens to be new on this channel, please do consider to check out my playlist. I did a lot of playlists, events play, boss guide, and some of it have not been complete yet, but I wish I can complete it by this year. But we'll see how it goes. And I did a lot of cinematic editing as well, so please feel free to check out my playlist and do consider to subscribe. I really appreciate your subscribe. That will do me a ton of help, 100%. Alright, the first thing that we should understand about this first phase is that the whole area or the whole sequence is about is about the tutorial. So the game tried to teach you. So I would suggest any new player out there who happens to start playing this game, remember that this area is a tutorial area. Use as much as time possible to actually learn the tutorial, because this is the only area or the only part in the game that actually going to allow you to die and not losing anything. In other words, you'll not get affected by the dragon rod, which is the penalty system of this game, and you will not lose skill points because you do not have any requirement to get a skill points yet, and you'll not lose any sense because you do not get any sense just yet. So this area is completely a tutorial area. If you die, there's nothing that you can lose. So always I recommend every new player to kind of like experiment on the parry system and everything in this part of the game, which is the tutorial part of the game. So just experiment as best as you can, understand the timing, understand the regular enemy, because there will be a lot of regular enemy just like them once you get into the real part of the games. So let's go and just go through this. Pick up this item. It's a ornamental letter. You can read it if you like. It's a Kuro, the letter said as what it is right now. All right, let's proceed normally. All right, you can just try to explore this area, but there's nothing there, so no need to worry yourself that much. Proceed through the game normally, and as the tutorial button show you what to do and what's your control. Now if you're on PC and the control layout is kind of like in on console, you just can switch it in the setting. There will be an option to kind of change the layout into keyboard stealth. Events without being seen by crouching, and bushes or moving on the floors. You do not have a sword at the moment. Okay, so basically this is a stealth system in the game. Now the game can be done stealthily, and honestly highly recommend on doing this game most of the area stealthily, because stealth is really important in this game, especially for new players. Unlike if you're a hardcore parry guy, then you can just like run around and just freaking slash everybody. But if you're new in this game, I would suggest you rely on stealth as much as possible, and there will be a lot of this kind of like leaf and kind of like grasses and bushes that you can actually hide on, a wall you can hide behind a wall and everything like that. And yeah, and the only one more thing that you need to keep in mind is that the AI is quite dumb. Because they will see you, they got alerted, and then you run away for quite sometimes. I mean, quite far away from them. They'll stop alerting and they'll just go back to their post like nothing happened. So you can always take that to your advantage. If any enemy saw you or see you, just run a little bit further away from them. They'll stop from getting aggro, and they start forgetting about you, so you can restart your stealth again. Take it slow if you're a new player. Take it slow. You do not need to rush anything. Take it slow through a level. Alright, so as for this tutorial level, what you need to do is just stealthily walk or crouch towards underneath of this hut. You can eavesdrop that guy up there. He'll tell you a little bit of information of what's going on.
月明かりで書をお読みかの。そうじゃな。まだほんの子供というに、囚われとは気の毒なことじゃ。 ああ、源一郎様も何かお考えがあるのだろうが。
Alright, there you go. So let's go. There's another bushes that you can use to move stealthily. Alright, right over there will be like 2 guards, and that 2 guard you can eavesdrops. Again, these 2 guards will kind of like tell you what's going on right now. So just eavesdrop them. You'll get nothing out of it, but if you like dialogues, eavesdrop them.
そのままにしておるぞ。ああ、そちらは心配いらぬだろう。
But this dialogue kind of like help you a bit if you're like a curious player who actually looking forward to just like walk your way straight to the door of that Moonlight Tower, which we're looking at right now. These 2 guards actually talk about that the Moonlight Tower is locked, so you cannot make a run straight there and open the door. Just kind of like a little bit of information for any player who like to just rush straight. So just use the latch, hang it, shimmy along the latch. Alright, you need to jump this. Careful of your footing. Shimmy again. All of this is a very important stealth mechanic that you will going to experiment on and use further in the game. Alright, now we hear our first pose. If you happens to be a Dark Souls player, and then you're kind of like wondering if Sekiro can be just like Dark Souls, the answer is no. Sekiro cannot be like Dark Souls. Will not be like Dark Souls. Sekiro is pretty much its own thing. And I heard a lot of people actually compare it with Lies of P, which I found that it's not true at all. If you play Lies of P and you play Sekiro, you know that there's nothing similar between those two. Except for the pairing system. Again, when you talk about similarities, pairing system in Lies of P is like much tighter than Sekiro. Sekiro is way more forgiving in terms of giving you a window to parry. So it doesn't feel the same. So Sekiro is pretty much its own thing. I've never actually played any other game actually feels like Sekiro, and Sekiro is the only game that I ever played that feels like Sekiro. So if you're from that Souls game and you say you think you can level up and be much stronger, unfortunately this game do not offer you that. This game, however, do offer a skill tree. This game, however, do offer you buff items or buff resources for you to use to buff whether your posture meter or to buff whether your for your damage, all of that. So basically, 80% of the time, the game is asking you to rely on your skills, which is memorizing the most set of certain enemies and mastering the combat. That is what really important about this game. But don't be scared, don't be afraid of it, because it's really not that hard once you get through it. Let's take our Kusabimaru, talk with the Divine Child or Divine Kid here, Kuro. Talk to Kuro. He'll give you health god.
狼よ、傷を負っておるようだな。そうだ、そなたにこれを託そう。薬水のひょうたんだ。これで傷を癒してくれ。
Healing guard.
さて、そなたの体、その後大事はないか。
その後とは。
あの世のこと、覚えておらぬのか。
はい。
いや、司祭は後にしよう。今はこのアシナの城を脱さねばならぬ。
御意。
堀沿いに進んだ橋の下に場外への抜け穴がある。一心様よりそう聞いたことがある。まずはその橋下の抜け穴を見つけてきてほしい。見つけたらそうだな、足の歯笛で合図をくれるか。ほら昔聞かせてくれたであろう。こうピーッとな。その音を頼りにそなたのもとへ行こう。狼よ、そなたからも何かあるのか？
Alright, if you play the game, basically you have a if you already play like a New Game Plus, you finish the game once, the game will actually provide you a Kuro charm. So basically, if you give away the Kuro charms, the game will be harder. So I would suggest if you're first timer, you'll not get these options. But anyway, I'll just tell you, if you give away the Kuro charms, the games will be harder. Will become harder in terms of the enemy will every strike from the enemy that you block will still give you chip damage. So that's why the game will be harder in that way. So yeah, just worth telling, I guess.
そうか。では、頼んだぞ、狼よ。
Alright, here's a trick that I would like to teach everyone. Most of the time, people will just like straight away use the healing guard, because why not, right? Here's a trick. If you want to fill up your HP, you can just simply Homeward Idol, use it. Last Commune Idol, which is right here in this place. Like I said, it's the first hub of the game. You'll use this and you'll just return back here again with full health. So just keep that in mind. You can always do this. Look at that. And now you got full health. This is another trick that most new players kind of like overlook. So if you want to get full health and want to get a good start here, do that. Use Homeward Bound. Before we actually step outside of the door, there's actually one item, healing item that you can get here called Pellet. Now Pellet is a very important resource for you throughout the game. Now early on, at least I would say early on, because Pellet is a healing item that heals you regularly, so which means you can use it through fight. It will be much better once you upgrade a certain skill tree. It will make the recovery system from pellets much faster and much better. So keep that in mind. Pellets really important, and don't worry about using it because you'll get plenty out of it, plenty of it in the game through fighting enemies and through loot. So just keep that in mind. First thing you will need to do is open the door. You'll see 2 guards. But here's the thing. Miyazaki is so good. You know, he allowed you to learn first. So take your time here. Learn. Once you fight them, if you feel like you're not doing good enough, Homeward Idol. Back to Kuro. You get full replenish health, you know. And just rinse and repeat again and again until you actually feel comfortable with the combat system. If you're new here, I would recommend you to do that because it's really important to feel comfortable with the combat system. It's not just that. As a matter of fact, try to learn every moveset from this enemy, because this enemy will do kind of a not much of a moveset they got. So you'll take little time to actually memorize your moveset. If you memorize your moveset, it's better because you're going to confront most of them in the real game, in the real level. So let's go and put this first guy down with a death blow, because we get a chance to do that. So in this game, you can always do death blow whenever the enemy didn't see you. You can either do it from air death blow, which means you jump towards the enemy from the that lower than you, or you can do the death blow from behind, sneak attack. Okay, as you can see, this enemy is quite different from the first enemy that we just fought. This enemy have hats, and every hat's enemy, it's kind of like much more resistant than a normal enemy. So keep that in mind whenever you confront this hat enemy. You will always need to parry him, because he will block, most probably high chances that they will block 2 of your attacks. Block 1 of your attack and parry the other attack, and follow up with a counter attack. This is when you need to make use of your parry. So keep that in mind. I'm going to show you here. 1, 2. Look at that. As you can see, the hat enemy always do that. So take your time. Rinse and repeat until you understand what's his moveset. Do not rush the combat, because the combat, any Souls-like game as a matter of fact, combat system cannot be rushed. You cannot spam. You need to really understand what you're doing. Alright. If you still wonder about how to fight that head guy, there's another one head guy here that have the same moveset as the first guy. Look at that. Just like that. That's the typical moveset that they will rinse and repeat again and again. Okay? So from here, I would suggest you to get a death blow from one of that guy, because if not, you'll have to fight both of them, which can be quite troublesome for a new player. How to do an air death blow is just jumping straight to the guy that you lock on and click attack whenever the indicator appear, like this. Yeah, the indicator is the rate, the circle rate. And then after you did that, the death blow, quickly kill this guy, because another 2 guys going to come out. Okay, if you hold attack, you'll get a thrust attack. If you hold attack, you get a thrust attack, which means a strong hit or heavy attack. You can dash around. If you hold dash button, you'll run. Okay, this game will require a lot of dash and a lot of run as well, as much as you parry. So keep that in mind. Hold attack, and you'll get that strong thrust. It's really useful against certain enemies. So if you're really love to just kind of like trust people or step people, you know, use that trust attack just like that. All right. Dash in this game, most people say that it's not useful. It's quite useful once you actually master the parry and everything. Dash is really useful. So experiment on that as well. Alright, another combat guide or combat basic that I would like to teach you right now is the posture meter. I will block him and I'll show you that your posture meter will fill up. Look at that. Look at that posture meter. It's fill up. Okay? Every time enemy attack and hit your block, you'll fill up your posture meter at the lower part there. Once it fills, like fully fills, what's going to happen is that the enemy will break your posture meter. Okay, and that will be troublesome because you'll get stunned. So if you do not want to get stunned, what you have to do is that back away from your enemy, like run away. Let him attack me first. Like run away and hold your block, because once you hold your block from further point, your posture meter will recover much faster than a regular one. If you don't hold block, it will not recover fast. It will recover slowly. So just keep that in mind. All right. So just run over here. Another thing that I would like to actually remind you is the stagger. If you got hit by an enemy, right here, you'll get stagger. You need to quickly press block. That is the only way for you to recover from that stagger. Remember, do not press dash, do not press roll, do not press jump. Press block. If you get stagger, press block, tap that block so that you recover back. That is the only way to recover from stagger. So in case you rage or anything, you know, you kind of like forgot, you want to just keep on tap that jump button whenever you're staggered. That is really dangerous, because emotions can do that to people. Just keep that in mind. Block is the way to recover from stagger. Press block. Don't press jump, don't press dash. Press block. Let's finish him up. So experiment on him. Understand the basic of parrying in this game. It's really fun once you actually understand how to do or what to do. Understand moveset also. It's really important. And as you can see, every enemy in this game have its how do I say, input system. Button input reading. Look at that. He technically read my moveset there. And he's done. Like I said, this is the tutorial area. If you die in this area, you won't lose anything. So you can die again and again. This is the only area in the game, part in the game that you can actually experiment on the combat without worry about losing anything. So keep that in mind. Once you pass this area, once you pass this part of the game, every death matters. Every death become risky. So just keep that in mind. Practice your combat system right here. Just make our way here to the next part, to the next level. Can he drop that guy? He's talking about something. I guess it's a lore.
檻のどん詰まりに抜け穴があるじゃろ。あそこも見張りせよとの仰せじゃと。なんとも限界なことじゃ。戦が近いのかもしれんの。
Well, let's proceed. Alright guys, now we got enemy right over there. You can either get this guy by shimmy along the edge here or the ledge here, or you can just straight away fight him. It's your choice. If you're already good with the combat, just go ahead and straight away fight him. If you feel like you want to go stealthily, you know, you want to go shinobi like, then shimmy along this ledge and freaking stealth kill him. So this is another tutorial that you can experiment. You can stealth kill any enemy from ledge. Like that. He fell down. Rest in peace. Alright. Shimmy down. Drop down by clicking shift. Pick up this item. Another pellet for you. There's a reason for that. Don't be afraid of using pellet. Again, I cannot stress this enough, but don't be afraid of using pellet. You'll get a ton of it by defeating enemy or by loot. You can always farm for it. It's one of the resources that are easier to actually loot. Alright. So listen up. The next one, I'll explain right to this. Let's just click it on first. Let's go Kuro.
Okamiをよく見つけてくれた。さあ、参ろう。
御意。
血の定めから逃れることしかできぬとはな。
Okay, the next one in this part is that you will fight a boss, alright? Genichiro Ashina. He's a very, very tough boss for a new player, alright? This is of course obviously an optional one. You can choose to defeat him or you can choose to die. Pretty much lots of 90% of new players just going to die from this boss, and that's the that's what the game wants you to do, die from this boss. If you die, you'll just progress through the story. If you beat him, you still progress through the story. It's either one. If you want to experiment on him, then try your best to beat him. But if you do want you want to progress the story, just die. Quickly die from him. But you have to die by his hand. You cannot die by jumping off cliff. If you die by jumping off cliff, you'll be put back here. So die by his hand. Just go straight and just die with him. But on this one, I will just try my best to beat him because it's fun to fight him. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I will not talk about how to beat him in this first part because that's not what it's supposed or means to be for a player to beat him. I'll talk about Genichiro Ashina boss fight when we encounter him the second time. Just make our way straight to this next boss fight. Optional one, actually. Optional boss fight. Alright, let's go and do this. There you go, guys. So what you'll get upon defeating him is just a slightly different cutscene. Nothing much. That's all. You will not get extra item. You'll not get extra experience. You'll get nothing out of it other than extra cutscene. That is all. So it's not worth it to try your best to fight him. It's really the whole thing really meant for you to just go in and die straight on, and the story will still progress. Once this done, you are officially entering the game. This is when you need to be very careful. If you die or anything like that, you need to be very careful, because you will lose half of your experience points that you gain and half of your sense. No kidding. The penalty in this game is very cruel. It's very cruel. It's very unforgiving. The penalty of this game is crazy. Way worse than Dark Souls. So you do not want to die. As a matter of fact, lots of players just give up playing this game because they die a lot and they lose a lot. Especially when they just want to farm and out of nowhere they die by some stupid mistakes. So that's what pisses them off, because they'll just lose it. You'll not get a chance to get it back. You'll lose it. 30%, 50% of your experience that you gain and your sense that you gain. Very bad. That's why you need to try your best not to die. And I'll teach you how to avoid death. I'll teach you how to kind of like a cheap trick to avoid death. In case you're like cornered and everything, how to avoid it. I'll teach you. I'll make sure that you go through this game less death, even if you're a new player. However, we are going to end the video right here. That is all for the first part of this video, which is the tutorial part of the whole games. I hope you guys actually gain something out of this. A good starter for a new player. If you're a new player, it's a good starter video. And if you want to look more, if you want to learn more, if you want to get the guide more, please continue watching. There will be next part and next part. And thank you so much for subscribing. If you have subscribed, if you haven't, why not? It'll help me a lot, 100%. I'm just a small YouTuber here, but I'm looking forward to grow big in the future. Why Not Move channel. Love you guys so much. See you guys on the next guide.